Welcome, I'm so glad you're here. Today we're talking about stress, your adrenal glands, and your nervous system, the hidden drivers of so many perimenopause symptoms. Understanding this connection is key to calming your body and regaining balance. I'm Amber Sullivan, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I've been where you are, exhausted, moody, and wondering why my once steady body suddenly felt out of control. My mission is to help women move through perimenopause with more ease, without extreme restriction, challenging workouts, or relying on medication. Now let's look at the stress response. We'll start with how your body defines stress, and then we'll break down the HPA axis. So what is stress? Stress is any demand on the body that requires adaptation. It can be physical, like illness or overexercise, emotional, like work or relationships, or physiological, like blood sugar swings, toxins, or inflammation. Your body doesn't distinguish. They all trigger the same biochemical stress response. Here's the main pathway. The hypothalamus tells the pituitary to signal the adrenals. That's the HPA axis. The adrenals release cortisol, which regulates blood sugar, immune function, inflammation, and energy. But when this system is chronically activated, it becomes dysregulated and symptoms show up. The other pathway is the SAM system. This is the sympatheto-adrenal medullary pathway. This is your fight or flight response. Stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, which tells the adrenal medulla to release adrenaline and noradrenaline. In the short term, this gives you alertness, a faster heart rate, and a glucose surge. But when this system is switched on all the time, it wears the body down. Next, let's talk about the role of your adrenals during perimenopause. This is where stress can really amplify symptoms. Your ovaries produce most estrogen and progesterone until menopause. But in perimenopause, as the ovaries slow down, the adrenals need to contribute around 30% of hormone production. If your adrenals are already overworked from stress, they really can't keep up, and symptoms intensify. Pregnenolone is called the mother hormone. It can turn into progesterone, cortisol, estrogen, or testosterone. But under chronic stress, pregnenolone is shunted towards cortisol production. This leaves you with lower progesterone, leading to anxiety, insomnia, PMS-like symptoms, and more. Cortisol raises glucose during stress. Blood sugar swings, in turn, trigger more cortisol release, creating a vicious cycle. Chronically high cortisol leads to insulin resistance, weight gain, and disrupted sleep. High cortisol also blocks thyroid function. It raises reverse T3, which prevents active T3 from binding to receptors. The result, you can have normal labs, but still feel hypothyroid with fatigue, hair loss, weight gain, and cold hands and feet. Shifting gears, let's look at the nervous system. Understanding its two branches helps explain why stress feels so overwhelming in perimenopause. The nervous system has two main branches, the sympathetic fight or flight, quick energy, stress response, and the parasympathetic or rest and digest. This is when the body repairs, has a recovery, and hormone balance. Chronic stress keeps many women stuck in the sympathetic dominance, leaving little time for rest and healing. Declining estrogen and progesterone make the nervous system feel less stable. Progesterone supports GABA, which calms and helps with sleep. Estrogen supports serotonin and dopamine for mood. When both decline, stress feels magnified. The vagus nerve is the main parasympathetic pathway. Low vagal tone means poor recovery, poor digestion, and more inflammation. Improving vagal tone boosts resilience, improves heart rate variability, and improves hormone balance. Symptoms of adrenal and stress dysfunction. When cortisol is too high, symptoms often include anxiety, panic, or irritability, insomnia, especially waking at 2 to 3 a.m., belly fat or weight gain despite diet, and high blood pressure and sugar cravings. When cortisol is too low, symptoms include fatigue or being wired but tired, low blood pressure or dizziness when standing, salt cravings, and burnout and poor stress tolerance. Nervous system imbalance can look like GI issues like IBS, reflux or bloating, migraines or chronic pain, mood swings and poor focus, overreacting to small stressors. Let's look at some interventions for this. To support your adrenals, start with blood sugar. Balanced meals reduce the stress burden. Add adequate protein and healthy fats for steady energy. Minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium are key. One simple tool is the adrenal cocktail. A half a cup of orange juice, a 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, which supports electrolyte balance. Another option would be half a cup of orange juice, half a cup of coconut water, and a pinch of sea salt. Lifestyle is just as important. Slow exhale breathing activates the parasympathetic system. Meditation or prayer reduces cortisol. Daily movement in nature helps reset your stress response. And journaling or emotional release practices support the nervous system. Exercise is powerful, but too much can backfire. Overtraining raises cortisol. The best approach in perimenopause is gentle strength training, only 15 to 20 minutes, 3 days a week, low impact cardio like walking, and restorative movement like yoga. Recovery is key, and tools like heart rate variability can help you monitor it. Sleep is one of the best medicines for your adrenals. Poor sleep raises cortisol and worsens symptoms. A consistent bedtime, a cool dark room, no caffeine after noon, and morning light exposure all help. Calming supports like magnesium glycinate, chamomile, or lemon balm can also improve sleep quality. To regulate your nervous system, you can use simple tools like humming, gargling, or cold splashes for the vagus nerve. Somatic exercises like shaking or stretching, grounding with bare feet outdoors in the grass, and relaxation rituals, especially before bed. Tracking stress in the adrenals. Technology can be a great ally. Wearables like Garmin to track your heart rate variability, stress, and sleep trends. Continuous glucose monitors show how stress affects blood sugar, and blood sugar is affecting the adrenals. And journaling your energy, sleep, and anxiety helps connect the dots. For deeper insight, labs can help. The Dutch test shows your cortisol curve, metabolites, DHEA, and sex hormones. Salivary cortisol reveals your diurnal pattern. Blood tests like morning cortisol and DHEAS add another piece. When you tie these to thyroid and sex hormones, you see the full picture. So let's look at a summary. Here's the bottom line. During perimenopause, your adrenals have to take over about 30% of sex hormone production. If they're overworked, symptoms like anxiety, insomnia, hot flashes, and weight gain skyrocket. Nervous system dysregulation magnifies everything. Managing stress truly means managing perimenopause. Stress, blood sugar, adrenals, and the nervous system are inseparable. Chronic stress raises cortisol, lowers progesterone, slows the thyroid, and destabilizes estrogen. But when we use lifestyle practices to support recovery, we unlock calmer, steadier transitions through perimenopause. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're ready for personalized support, I'd love to talk to you about my Perimenopause Reset or Total Transformation programs, because you deserve to feel like yourself again, rested, calm, and confident.